Hey, this is John Welsh. I'm here with Doug and Pat. We're here to talk about spanking your children. Pat, you want to give us your views?
I think that when it comes to spanking, it should be done as a way to I see your responses. I do think that the parents should spank their children, but you know, when I grew up, one of the ways that my parents talked about it is the importance of establishing the difference between right and wrong, but also establishing the element of love. And so if you're going to punish your children, it needs to be not out of anger, but out of a context of loving that child. So for instance, my family, we had a spanking spoon, and so it was like the rod of correction, so to speak. And my parents had a rule: they weren't allowed to spank us. If they were angry, the other parent had to spank if we did something wrong. And then the common practice of hugging us and loving us, because you know, spanking is for spanking and hands are for loving. So you know, my parents did that, and it worked for me. It taught me, like, I normally felt bad when I did something wrong, not because I was going to get spanked, but because I knew I disappointed my parents, because they would hug me afterwards, and I felt really guilty because I loved them. So for me, I think spanking makes sense when done the right way.
That's interesting. I haven't heard of the concept of using a tool for spanking. That's really cool. Doug, what do you think?
I agree with everything Pat said. Of course, I didn't have the spoon. We had some other type of paddle with not our names written on and the dates of when we got spanked. We filled it up pretty quickly, actually. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Multiple paddles.
Multiple paddles.
Really?
Yes. And I agree that there should be a fine balance between when you're spanking and giving praise. Because if you're giving too much praise and not enough corrections, then the kid thinks I got away with that, and look, I'm still getting praise. So, or it's the other way around, then it's considered abuse because then you're not getting any praise at all. You're just getting the whipping for spanking.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think, John?
I definitely agree with you guys. There has to be a component of love, and even just some way to separate it from your other tools of discipline. Like you had, Doug, you had paddles, and Pat, you had a spoon, was it?
Yeah, spanking spoon.
I think just...
It's like a large plastic spoon.
Yeah.
For like stirring, I don't know, brownies or whatever.
Brownies. Yeah.
No, not sangria.
Because
no.
there are other tools of discipline, and it is a discipline and not a punishment. So I think being able to distinguish between punishment and discipline is very important in the case when it comes to spanking. When you spank your children, you don't want to spank out of anger, out of vengeance, which would be punishment, getting back at someone that has done wrong. You want to teach your kid not vengeance, but discipline, guidance. So on the discipline guidance side would be more along the lines of not punishment, but discipline. So having that talk with your child and making sure you have the appropriate tool used for that discipline, whether it be natural consequences, allowing them, for example, to get a bad grade on a test that they ill-prepared for. That's a natural consequence. You don't need a spanking for that. They're going to get disciplined with your guidance on getting better grades by not procrastinating, by preparing for the test. Another type of discipline tool would be just positive reinforcement, being in the child's life and being able to say, hey, you can influence this world. It's up to you how you influence it. And let's say they break a horrible rule, one that natural consequences won't get the point across, and logical consequences won't get the point across. Spankings. You have to have spankings for that. Nice, controlled, non-vengeful spanking, not when you're angry, in a calm way. Yeah. So yeah, spank away. Quack, 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 quack.